Greetings Rummies and welcome to Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the second race of the Evolution Racing Academy today at the Nürburgring in the wet. My name is Serta and I won't be the only host in this race, because with me is the man with the voice of 1,000 angels. Cody, how are you, mate?
Howdy, howdy. It's good to be here. I never feel worthy of that title, but I'm happy to be here. Happy to join alongside. This is a favorite track of mine, the Nürburgring GP circuit. Controversially, I am ambivalent about the Nordschleife, but the GP circuit is an all-time favorite of mine. Ever since I was playing around with GT Legends as a kid on a keyboard, I have been enjoying the heck out of this circuit, and it's really cool to come to this circuit and watch some awesome racing with Evolution Racing Academy.
And don't tell anybody, but Cody at the moment is driving German.
Yes, I am driving a borrowed, it's not mine, a borrowed Porsche Boxster while my car is getting repairs.
Yeah, he's a Porsche driver now.
I am temporarily a Porsche driver now. I'll tell you what, though, it is a manual. I have driven a small handful of manuals in my life. The first of which was a Formula 2000 single seat trainer thing, and I've never driven a normal car as manual, and this just adds to that. So I was
just a word to the wise: don't go from fourth to second.
Well, at least not without slowing down enough. I skip gears a lot, especially downshifting.
You can.
But I'll tell you what, though, starting things off as we're going through qualifying here, I've, for the most part, after a little bit of a adjustment period, have been doing very well. But one time I was driving on my way to work, and I was in downtown in a bunch of traffic, stopped at a stoplight, and on the other side there was a Porsche Boxster, another Porsche Boxster, newer one. I'm driving a 986, and he comes up, he waves at me, flashes his lights, I do the same, and then that's the one time coming out of that light that I stalled it.
Of course. I've been driving stick my whole life, because here in Europe it's what you do normally. And now that I'm driving electric vehicles, I'm on automatic, because electric vehicles don't have gears. You have you have two gears. You either drive forwards or you drive backwards, and that's all that you do, because electric vehicles, at least road vehicles, don't need gears.
Where we're going, we don't need gears.
Yeah.
Well,
right, so
depressing as that sounds, here we are at the Nürburgring, driving some wonderful internal combustion engine GT3 cars.
And because there was a question, what class is this? This is gold, silver, and bronze. I don't remember if they call it platinum or diamond anymore. I'll have to ask Christian. Platinum is on another server, and we've been advised as last season to go with this server because there's more action here. So we do as we're told. Evolution Racing Academy are great friends of ours, so of course will be a down to this. Hey Marty, Monaco GP sucks. Well, of course. I mean, come on. Oh, Indy had rain. At the end, it rained.
No, they got rained out. I don't think they even started.
Yeah, exactly, because they had rain.
Yeah, and of note, lightning as well. I think was the big fear. There's lightning near the track. That's when they shut things down.
Yeah, I understand. We had lightning all night long.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
power went out here in Texas. It's
Well, yeah, but isn't that
all
normal?
over.
Like,
Well, politics aside, and yeah, I'm in agreement on that. Generally speaking, up until you get to like sweltering hot or freezing cold, the power grid's pretty reliable around here. But we must have had some really high winds because I left a window open last night, and I came out, and one of my Lego sets. I have like a little guitar, like Fender guitar. If you know, you know. Lego set, and it was near the window, and it had fallen over. It's not light, but it had gotten like blown off and like broken to pieces and all that. So it was very windy. Anyways, that is neither here nor there. It's not at the Nürburgring. Here at the Nürburgring, you might notice it's raining. It's raining quite a bit.
and you know what? In real life, it would be kind of raining because we've been having a strange day. I mean, as I said, during the night for hours we had torrential rain and lightning. Not that I'm near the Nürburgring, I'm about 600 kilometers away or something like that. But it could be. I would have to look it up if at the Nürburgring real life it's also raining.
But yeah, so it is raining here in the sim. That will add an added challenge for the drivers. We've seen these guys drive in the rain in previous seasons. Racing seasons, I mean, not weather seasons. But yeah, it will be a very interesting thing. Some of the spray you can see these drivers going through is pretty thick. So generally, we've seen them navigate that pretty well. But braking zones, especially the Mullenbach area, that downhill braking zone, that'll be a pretty interesting one. These GT3 cars have ABS, so that helps. If this were GTE, we would see them lock up like crazy in corners like that in the rain. But we still will have a chance of seeing that kind of action here today at the Nürburgring, and it will be a very exciting one to take a look. It looks like so qualifying is over. Drivers are finishing their laps now. And it is Fabiano Russo in the gold category who tops the leaderboard. So he will start on pole with a 2-minute 2.552.
Alright, we have some wind conditions. Watch out,
This
there
is
was an
gonna
exit
start
inventory
in
coding.
2 minutes. Just a quick heads up. 2 weeks ago, I keep saying last week, we were at Misano and the race ended with Mr. Koshut, who I don't see at all. Maybe he could not make it today. Mr. Koshut winning the race. No, he's not there today. Gale, Oaks, Berghuis, Stojakov, Gamble, Knight, Bellish, Tetley, and Rübsam places 1 to 10 in different classes and different tiers, and you are seeing that different cars are getting penalties. They haven't done anything wrong. These are what we would call success penalties. Those who got good positions in the last race are getting some ballast, so to speak. And the way that the Evolution Racing Academy does it is by giving people penalties, which are, I think it's stop and go, but like when they come into pits, they cannot start the pit stop until the penalty is done. So it's not It's not a stop at one place and then they go to pits. They serve it directly
20 seconds.
on pits. It's not a drive-through either. Although we may
10
be seeing
seconds.
those. In 5 seconds, they're gonna start with whatchamacallit? Setup.
The outlap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Setup lap.
We've got a rolling start here in ACC, and so our drivers are going to go out on the track. They're going to do one lap under pit conditions or pace car conditions, safety car conditions for the Europeans. Third time's a try. Oh my goodness! Third time's a charm. Holy. But anyways, vocal flubs of the commentators aside, these guys are going to come around, do a lap at the speed that you're seeing, and then when we come back around, then it will be a green flag and we will get racing again. So we have a few minutes to kind of go over our expectations for this race. I was not here for round one of the the season opener, but Serta, you were.
We shed a couple of tears because of that.
Yes, yeah, I apologize, but I was off having fun, and so I'd like for you to refresh me and perhaps those who are just tuning in now for the first time to this season. How did the last race go?
So it was a mixed bag. It started quite okay-ish, but then, especially at the back, there were some issues. The classic issue with people who are not accustomed to multiplayer racing and are learning the ropes, which is what the Evolution Racing Academy is for people to learn. At the front, it was quite calm, so to speak. And as I said, we ended with Mr. Kossuth, who is not with us today, which is a pity. It would have been interesting to see if he will be able to repeat his good position. Mr. Kossuth winning. Misano is always a fantastic race, a fantastic track, so it was fun to see. You were saying about rain. Places like Misano or here Nürburgring in the rain, like the Schumacher S in the rain is a thing that scares me.
Yeah, that corner, it can be, well, so there's the Schumacher S. I need to pull up a track map, but there are some spots on this corner.
Is the left right one that goes up?
Yes, yeah. So there are some corners on this track that are a little bit off camber. They're not tilted into the direction of the corner. They're tilted away from the direction of the corner, and that banking being against you can really wreak havoc on the level of grip that you have and the level of grip you think you have. And in the rain, that's just even worse. And so those are going to be some trouble spots to watch. I'll point them out as we go through them. But here we are coming around. Green. Let's go racing. 1 hour here at Nürburgring.
We already have a drive-through set.
That was an early start. Jumped the gun. And here we are in the rain, turn one. Everybody, we're looking at 3 wide, 4 wide. Ooh, a slight bump there on a Ferrari, slowing things down a little bit. For the most part, people are getting through okay, kind of 4 wide. There's contact there at the back of the pack. Oh, and there's a spin from the Porsche. That is Van Holland with a spin. There's another Porsche spun around. That is Murisanu, bronze driver. I think a new bronze driver to this championship, getting back away again. We have around the S again a Ferrari and a BMW. Oh, and the Ferrari and the Porsche collide into each other. Down at the bottom, we have a lot of crashes, but at the front, we are away. Coming down here, this is the Mullenbach, I'm sure it has a better name than that, but I know the area of the track's the Mullenbach.
And this is the Schumacher S.
Oh, okay, yes, the Schumacher S. Oh, we have a BMW way wide. And getting back onto the track now, that was Tim Detweiler, I think it was. But yes, leading the race, you have Fabiano Russo started on pole, coming away with a nice early lead. You see that a lot here in ACC races. One driver who gets out in front tends to stay out in front. Will that be the case? Who knows? All we can say for sure is that the Nissan GTR that he is driving looks awesome and is not alone, actually. This time around, compared to last season, we have not one but two Nissan GTRs. So if you're a Nissan fan, then you're well served by this championship.
Oh, and already somebody in pits.
Is that's Steve Tetley coming in? I think I'm gonna guess for damage, and Cedric as well coming in to serve his drive-through. That's the Porsche that you're seeing in the pits. That's the number 68 Porsche.
Especially on the first corner of cars hitting each other, but for the most part I'm moving a little bit down the line. Things are quiet.
Oh, I don't know. Take a look at let's see, Gamble. Whoa, sorry, my I was tracking a car and it kind of went nuts. Anyways, we are off getting going again. We have a few packs forming. We have a pack around, let's call it 6th through 10th or 11th. Yeah, 10th. And then we have another group starting again around like 13th to 17th that are all kind of close together, packed up like a bunch. And yeah, here we go. So there's a lot of drivers kind of getting spread out here. We have a pass for 19th. Viero passes Bacher, the 25 McLaren, over the number 3
loses
Porsche.
the place because he goes wide.
Yes, yes.
So one thing, I mean, driving in the wet has two issues. The one is that you don't have that much grip, and the other is one that we're gonna show you right now, is that you don't see diddly if you are driving in the wet.
I think I briefly mentioned the spray, especially at the higher speeds that you get at the end of the start-finish straight, for example. That's a very important braking zone. You've got to see your marker, and if you have a car in front of you just throwing up a ton of water onto your windshield, that's all shown, that's all modeled in the sim, and it can make it really, really hard to see your braking zone. I see a message in the server, race about to start applying penalties. I'm not sure what that's about. We'll keep you posted if there's any updates, but it looks to us like the race has started. Certainly that is the actions of the drivers reflecting that. A lot of drivers battling it out. Looks like Peroy and Biddle are having a bit of a battle. There was a pass on a corner exit before the straight into the Schumacher S. Although I'm not sure we're thinking of the same thing on the Schumacher S, because...
So we're Peroy's and Biddle just left the Schumacher.
Yes, okay, yeah, we were thinking that. And then what I know is the Mullenbach That's the
Yeah, but that's
the
before.
hairpin at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
Before the
That's
S. Yeah.
Thing, of course, also is we're talking if you have one car, but if you have a pack of cars that are close to each other, the spray adds up, and you end up smelling the other cars and smelling the corners because there's no way to see. Right now, it's kind of easy to see. It's a little bit disturbing and a little bit unnerving, but all in all, okay-ish. But if it would be raining stronger or the cars would be nearer to each other, and we are not seeing too much chaos on the first corner, which is what I was expecting, and also what Marty was expecting, and rightly so, because that one in the dry is already an accident-prone spot.
Let's take a look at the battle for 11th. Because we have a lot going on there and behind them. We've got a bunch of drivers here in a pack, all fighting for position, trading position. We're seeing more passes in these races, in this one pack here in half a lap, as you'll see at all of the Monaco race. Hey.
Well, that's not difficult because Monaco is Monaco. Like there was a race in the, what was it, 70s or something, where only 3 cars finished, or 4, 3. So yeah, but normally it's just place one is place one. It's I always say that Monaco, the only reason that the Monaco race exists is so that the drivers can go and visit their money.
Yeah, you're probably onto something there. I was looking at the Honda, the Honda NSX. I know it as the Acura NSX. Having a little bit of a moment in the braking zone into the Schumacher S, where he very nearly got into the back of the Ferrari in front of him. Deftly avoided, but all the same, a scary moment there for that Honda.
I mean, Acura is a brand of Honda, like Lexus is a brand of Ford.
Yes, yes.
So at the front, things are maybe getting hotter because we have Russo, Calgaro, and Roth on the topics.
Yes, it is oftentimes in ACC, as I mentioned earlier, a driver who starts on pole is able to just have clean air, get out in front of everyone, doesn't get caught up in any battles, and is able to just dominate the whole race. Here, it looks like maybe with the rain that's going to change because Russo, he qualified on pole. Calgaro was close, but not too close. Actually, no, he was pretty darn close as I'm looking back at the qualifying time. But he is reeling in Russo. That's the important thing. Russo was, from the start in the first couple laps, really looking like he was going to be one of those lucky dogs who is really good at hot lapping the track and gets out in front, starts out in front, rather, and just stays out in front because, well, you're just hot lapping and do the same thing as you were. I think maybe it's the rain, maybe it's just the fact that Calgaro has leveled up in the previous season, and he is, and I don't mean that in a literal like gold, silver, etc. I mean like he leveled up his skills to be on the level of Russo, and yeah, he is reeling in Russo ever so slowly. It's kind of tapered off a little bit this lap, but Roth in third place, that I think green and yellow Porsche, he is getting ever closer to both drivers. We've seen the top three just kind of tighten up, which is refreshing. It's not what we've usually seen. Usually most of the fighting has taken place down in the lower classes here. And here's something to note with Roth. That's a bronze driver. And he's racing up against some gold drivers.
On 13th, 15th, Oaks just hit Stoyakov, and both drivers are on track, just waiting for the others to pass. Oh, and Stoyakov doesn't get the right way on the track, and therefore hits another car.
Yeah, it looked like Stoyakov was kind of a little bit slow out of that corner, and what was it, Oaks behind him? It didn't anticipate for that, which, you know, why would he, kind of, he should, but we can understand why the incident happened. But yeah, Stoyakov, I'll bet you he was starting to lose the back end in the rain, and so he let off the accelerator, but then, you know, the Porsche of Oaks, which has incredible rear end grip, and is a engine layout pretty much designed for these situations, and having grip out of a corner like that, did not anticipate that, or did not want to let out and just poked the back of Stoyakov enough to send them both around.
And what we're watching right now is Biddle, Knight, W, and Bellish for 6th. Because for now, this is the hottest battle in the race. But I'm watching at the 4th, and he's getting near to the 3rd. So we're keeping an eye up and down to see where something's happening, as always.
Biddle had a very, very slow corner exit. That Bentley is big ol' heavy boat, and navigating it around these tight technical corners. I say technical, there are narrower turns out there, but it is kind of a technical section of the track. And yeah, he had a little bit of trouble getting away. It looks like he's getting a little bit more distance on Knight in the Nissan GTR now, but and Knight is maintaining about 0.9 to 1 seconds back. And we saw he's just marked down as W, but it's a number 214 Ferrari is kind of reeling in Knight. You'll see the other drivers have not lost pace except for Knight, and so looks like there's Belez behind W, and then there's Biddle ahead of Knight, and their gap has stayed about the same, but it looks like Knight is now kind of struggling a little bit, and he's being reeled in.
And W using his lights to get him a little bit unnerved.
Let's see. Yeah, W's got some problems on his hand as well, with Belez in the BMW as well, who's getting ever closer. That the Red Bull liveried BMW. That's an imposing car to have in your rearview mirror as well. Detweiler, number 174 BMW, he's in the pits.
Wide soon for a normal pit stop.
Yes, yeah, we're at 45 minutes to go. The pit window's open pretty much the whole race, but yeah, it's the kind of thing where you would expect, if this was a planned stop, you would expect it to come right around the halfway mark so that you get the most out of both sets of tires that you're going to be racing with. And so a pit stop this early is kind of a tricky thing, not necessarily for any issues that he's going to have in the near term, but as he gets towards the end, if he doesn't take another pit stop, which would of course cost him more time, Well, you run into the issue of now you're on really old tires, 15 minutes older than anyone else. So, interesting. He's going again.
Oaks is in pits, serving his 15-second success penalty, let's call it that way. And doing, of course, some of the drivers seem to already go for pit stop. It's a little bit soon, but hey.
Yeah, a bit of an odd decision.
So what else do we have? Oh, we have Burke, who is very near to Cow. I'm keeping an eye on that. But we also have Cedric near Stancer for 20th. What else do we have? Rupsam for third. Oh, and they are mapping some cars. Always brings a little bit of tension. And while we weren't watching, so to speak, Burko is overtook Cow. Let me see in the replay. Burko went rather straight on the chicane. Therefore, Cow went rather straight on the chicane. Therefore, Burko is able to take the place quite easily. What else do we have? Oh, the battle. We're still on replay. Come on, Assetto Corsa Competizione. So, the battle for 7th Night W and Belish is still going on. And there's a driver called Badass.
Amazing.
We already have, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna note on that name, the B stands for bearded. No further comment on that?
Uh-oh. Things are a little bit strange here between Stoyakov, Badass, and Viero. With Viero closing. And by the way, we already have 4 drivers who've gone into pits. That's Tetley, Shepard, Oaks, and Deadwood. So if you see them down below in the standings, it's mostly because they've come and that car a little bit sideways on the Schumacher S.
Of note on the pit discussion,
Yep.
Slater, Cedric, Murasano, and I think we might have mentioned Tetley, yeah. They have all gone into the pits for some reason or another. But a lot of those were not... like Cedric's, for example, he was only in the pits for 27 seconds. That was, I believe, to serve the drive-through penalty at the start. And then Slater had a,
wait,
full
but
pit.
if it would be a drive-through penalty only, he would have been driven through. Yeah.
He only spent 27 seconds total through the pits.
Yep. He wouldn't be counted as having served pits.
Okay.
Because
I'm just looking. There's the time to pit, 27 seconds. Time stopped, 0 seconds.
Okay, so you're not looking at the number of pit stops. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking in ACC race control in the pit count and the time pit stopped, etc.
So what we're watching at the moment is the battle for 13th, so to speak, with Cow, Limburgs, Parois, Gamble, and Slater, all nicely trying to find a hole that brings them into the other. Or maybe only trying to survive. I mean, if it was me, I would be only trying to survive.
Whoa, Slater with a big move. Whoa, too big of a move. Kind of gets into the side of Gamble there. It looked like he was going to pull it off, and then ended up tapping the Ferrari. Slows both of the drivers down. No positions gained. But my goodness, that was a bold move to try to pull off in the rain from Slater. He really, it was, I mean, I'll call it a dive bomb. He was not fully successful, but he didn't take both of them out, so they at least lived through it. But my goodness, that was a risky move. If it had been successful, it would have been incredible, but Gamble was able to hold off the gamble from Slater.
But it's a good place to overtake.
Oh, he goes for another try in the start-finish braking zone. It looks like he gets it for the moment. Is Gamble going to have enough? Nope, it looks like he's going to retain the position. Slater makes 16th.
And a little bit at the front of those, like 2 or 3 positions. Limburg takes the position. Oh.
Yes, these guys are. Whoa! A tap! A tap! It's BMW on BMW action. Spins around. Oh, well, not spins around, but slides around Limburg. Pushes him out of the way, and Limburg's at the back now of this whole pack. That was a move gone wrong. Position was gained, but probably not how either driver wants to do that. You have to wonder. Yeah, I wonder if the race directors will be taking a look at that incident.
So at the Evolution Racing Academy, it's done after the race, I guess.
Oh, we have a very, very wide Slater. Looks like he missed his braking zone in this S bend, and ends up alongside Limburg's, a little bit ahead of him. But yeah, Slater definitely making some bold moves. He gained 1, lost 5, so that's how gambling works.
That's always how gambling works.
Yep.
Bank always wins.
Yeah, and in this case, it's the track. The track always wins.
And he's trying to... Aha! So he makes a position good because Cow...
Yeah, that was a touch behind him. That was Cow and Limburg's bumping BMWs. And
good band name. Bumping BMW.
Bumping Bimmers.
Bumping Beamers.
Although it does sound a little bit like a euphemism for something, so there's that too. Who up bumping the Bimmers right now?
You would have very special needs.
You must. Well, Gamble and Slater go for it again. A bit of a rematch there. And I wonder if Slater's going to learn his lesson after that one, because he was sent off into the dirt patch. Definitely a lot of risky driving from Slater. We've seen it pay off a little bit, but for the most part, he's just dropping back positions the more he takes risks. And in the braking zone, Van Holland looking towards the inside of Slater, trying to get around him. And it looks like Cedric slingshots around Van Holland. Wow, a lot of action going on here in the mid-pack.
Somebody who's been aggressive too long of his racing gaming career, being aggressive normally does not.
Oh, so that's the voice of experience.
Yeah, the hurt voice of experience.
Yeah, Slater taking the opportunity to come into the pits. Perhaps it is time. We are at 34 minutes to go. So we're going to probably be expecting a lot of drivers to start coming in around now. And so Slater's kicking off the expected pit window. We've had some
That
drivers.
was strange.
Oh, do tell.
We were watching the Biddle against Stewart drive, and Stewart just went almost straight, and I think there was no touch from Biddle. So that looked very strange.
Could it have perhaps been a server issue? Was it that kind of going off straight?
I was thinking netcode, yeah. That Biddle was not near enough, but the server was saying, yes, he's near enough to touch him. It happens. I mean, the better the simulations go, the smaller the contact boxes around the cars are getting, but still.
Let's take a look at the fight between Cedric and Cow. This is Porsche and BMW fighting for 16th place. Cedric is glued to the back of Cow. And we're seeing some big slidey action there from Cedric.
Slater gets a drive-through, which only means speeding.
Yes, we saw him come in, and so that drive-through is most likely, well, pretty much guaranteed to be on his pit exit. So Slater definitely coming into this cool weather rain race with a hot head.
And the battle has ended because Cedric was.
Yes. Bella's Jardine come into pits as well. Two names that, if you're familiar with the Evolution Racing Academy races, you'll know well. These guys are always put on a good show for us.
I wasn't expecting Jardine last race to make a better position, and here he's also. Let's put it this way: last season, Jardine was on a much better standing than he is at the moment. Maybe the tracks are not good for his car. We're watching Stewart, Knight, and W for 6th.
All right, Russo comes into pit, and that looks like also we have Slater, coming in to serve his drive-through. So familiar sight back in the pits. But notable, your race leader Russo has come in now. Biddle also coming in, so several of the leaders, and W in the 214 Ferrari is also coming in.
Yeah, as was to be expected. We're about half time in this race, especially in the wet. You are going to use the same set of not the same set, but the same type of tires, both on both your stints. It was to be expected. Around the middle of the race, most drivers are going to. Oh, okay, so Gothams, you're saying American accent is fine, the other person is far too quiet to hear, so it seems that I am far too quiet to hear.
That's my name, American accent. Hello.
I would say, I'm too quiet to hear. There's people out there who would not accept that sentence. Okay?
In the mix.
Exactly. Like Certa is not being loud enough. Ha ha ha. Okay. So I hope that now I can be heard better. Of course, I'm moving around, checking things, so maybe it's also because I'm moving away from the microphone.
Not in my experience, because I can hear you through Discord, so I'm not hearing the mix of the thing. But you're staying a pretty consistent volume on my end.
Okay, then it's the mix. Just put myself. Ooh, no. Poor Knight. Just I think he lost control all by himself. But let's check.
Yeah,
no, he tapped.
He was bumped. No, he bumped.
No, exactly.
He did the bumping.
Yep.
That was that's Aston Martin. That's what
Stewart?
Aston Martin is that?
So we are watching now.
Yeah, that is
against
Stewart.
Lewis.
That is Stewart. But yeah, they drop some positions and get going again. Elgaro is your new leader for the moment. He has not taken his pit stop yet, so this will be in the lead asterisk, but yet still. As a matter of fact, all of the top 9 drivers have not taken a pit stop yet. Rubsam, who just came out of the pits, is the most recent one, and he actually came out just behind Russo. So, the actual fight for the lead here is actually pretty darn close, and it is Rubsam and Russo who's currently in 10th. But because of the pit stop shuffle that we all play whenever we do racing, it is Russo who is still effectively your race leader, and Rubsam is real close behind him, which if Rubsam was a bit faster with his pit stop, then we would have had a lead change for this race, which is really interesting to think about how important pit stop times can be in a race, especially with drivers of this caliber.
So pit stop shuffle sounds like a dance the mechanics do while they're waiting for the cars to come in.
That's a song from the Bumpin' Bimmers, actually.
Exactly. You're onto something there. So, all soon it will be out on Spotify. The new LP, the new album by the Bumping Beamers, including the worldwide hit Pit Stop Shuffle. So we already have a thing to do for to prepare for the for April 1st of next year.
There you go. Absolutely.
Pit Stop Shuffle.
Kagaro, Ius, and Berghuis, now Stancer, they have all come into the pit. These are a lot of your drivers who have been rounding out your top 10. We saw the top 2 come into pit, and then third place Roth is now your current actual on-track leader. But it is a bunch of other drivers here. Calgaro has taken a pit stop. I don't know if it was the pit stop. Let me look at the stint length.
Calgaro, yes.
Yeah. So Calgaro, he's just come out, and he came out actually ahead of Russo. So actually, it looks like Calgaro is your new race leader, accounting for pit strategies. Yeah, and he came out actually a good bit before Russo. That looks like he's got 7 seconds on Russo. So somewhere in there, he was able to shave off that time. Because remember, Calgaro was challenging Russo for the lead, but we went away to look at other more interesting things as Russo maintained his lead, not by a whole lot, but now we've seen the pass in the pits. That's one of those things. Strategy becomes very important once you're past sprint race length and you're taking pit stops and all that.
Well, we see Roth and Stewart in pits. We are in first and second until now. Knight is the virtual leader, but that won't take long as soon as he gets in pits. Especially because he has a 5-second success penalty. Let's see where that ends. I'm with you that it's quite sure that Calgaro is going to take over, but let me check. Oh, Roth. Yeah, Calgaro is already in front. Even if it's not shown on the server here, the broadcast images, Calgaro is in front of Roth. So I'm pretty sure that he'll end up being the race leader, at least for now. Knight is still out. Pit stop to serve and test penalty. Then Limburgs. Then we have, without any pit stop, any normal pit stop to make any more, Calgaro. And behind him is gonna be Roth as soon as Becker serves him. What do we have?
And that's an interesting thing. Because Roth was trailing Russo as well, and now Roth did his pit stop and came out in the pit stop shuffle actually ahead of Russo. So Russo has dropped back a little bit after the pit stop shuffle, not just one position but two.
Okay, so that may also have to do with taking fuel, although normally you don't need to take fuel. I think you can load enough fuel for the whole race, but somebody in the know for these cars at Nürburgring can tell us, but I think the only thing that you need to do is change. And at the moment we're watching Jardine in his Lexus trying to be as dangerous as possible to Ius with only 0.2 of a second. Ooh, he's going for outside and hey, overtakes him on turn 1 here. Nicely done. So Jardine now on 10th. Knight trying to put off going into pits as much as possible. Maybe he's using the chance that he now has clean air.
That can be a very valuable asset on any track, but especially a track like this.
And the tires on rain don't get used and abused as much, so can extend it a little bit, especially if you are a tire whisperer, as some of the drivers are. Can extend it. Was it? I don't remember. At Misano there was one guy that waited until 10 minutes before the end of the race or something. He was not losing time.
Tire Whisperer is actually also a song by the Bumpin' Bimmers.
Hey, we already. Oh, we're getting a free album. At the end of this season of the Evolution Racing Academy, we'll have a whole album.
Yeah, there you go.
Tire Whisperer, the ballad. We have all been waiting. And Limburgs is in pit, which means that Calgaro is moving up. Second place. And what do we have? We have Perez on 14, fighting against Limburg, and both going into the wet grass, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, there's already such little grip. Oh, Knight, who is your through the pit stop shuffle leader, he comes into pit.
Okay, let's see where he comes out.
Yeah, and
he has the 5-second business penalty.
Yes, and of note, that means that Calgaro comes into the forefront for real here with 18 minutes left to go.
Well, not yet, because he hasn't passed the wet but yes.
Yes, yeah.
He will.
Mm-hmm. Of note, notable holdout is Bacher, Mr. Jeffrey Bacher, bronze driver, currently running in 3rd place, and that will have to drop a little bit because he has not taken a pit stop yet. So currently he's 2nd place overall, but this bronze driver will need to come into the pits before the end of the race. And so he will be giving up that position. But still, it's nice to live at the front for a little bit. But for the sake of strategy, it's probably a good idea for him to come in soon, because at some point, your tires are getting pretty old, and there's a reason that you take a pit stop in the middle of this race, and that's so that you're not racing on old tires for so long.
But effectively, that will mean that another bronze driver will be taking over the 3rd place, and that's going to be rough.
2nd place. He's currently sitting in 3rd. Yeah, David Roth will take up. Is there a Lee? Is your middle name Lee, Mr. Roth?
David Lee Roth?
By any chance?
By the way, the 2 EPs that he made after being the singer of Van Halen are much better than anything that he did with me. That's my person.
Oh, those are fighting words. And that's not that I dislike David Lee Roth. I'm just a big Van Halen fan.
But we have Calgaro up front. We have a nice battle for 16th. Stuart Cowvold, bronze, silver, silver. Which is a country and western song by the Bumping Beamers.
There you go. I'll tell you what, though, speaking of songs and of Van Halen, interesting bit of Cody lore here. Almost all through middle school and high school, I used the Van Halen guitar solo Eruption as my wake-up alarm, so that I could wake up early enough to catch the bus to go to school.
Never been. I've always used some wake-up sounds to wake up. That would put me in a bad mood.
Well, it jolted me awake, and that was what I needed, yeah.
Exactly.
Like it was either going to be that or like a gunshot or a bomb explosion or something to get me out of bed real quick.
Yeah, I suppose I would use the shout out in the middle of sabotage.
That's a good one.
By the way, I heard an excellent version of Sabotage by Korn and Slipknot, both together on stage, singing, rapping.
That's very fun.
Great bands, and then covering another great band. A fantastic song. Just those tom-toms at the beginning, those brum brum, brum brum, tells you what you're listening to.
Yeah, for sure.
And Limburgs takes the place from Tetley for 12. What do we have? We have Russo trying to get to 4th. Around W. Hopefully not through W, but around him. By the way, Becca still has not served his pit stop, obligatory pit stop.
Yeah, I've had my eye on that. He's been out since the start of the race on those tires. He's the only one doing that. I have to wonder if it's a rookie kind of thing. 'Cause I don't believe he raced with ERA last season.
I don't remember. No, I would have to look it up. I'm not sure right now. I was going to say, yeah, I don't remember the name, but something very deep back in my brain says, no, wait, take a look at that. So, yeah.
Well, either way, Roy and Tetley have a battle shaping up. This is a AMG and Lamborghini fight. And looks like Roy has the overspeed on Tetley, but Tetley's doing a very good job of defending. The front-engined, a lot of straight line power, AMG versus the mid-engined V10 awesomeness of the Lamborghini. Have two very different approaches to speed, but of course the BOP and just the fact that they're well-made cars helps to even these out. So it's really cool to see these two cars driving up against each other. About a half a second away now. Looks like Tetley is doing a good job of holding off Roy now. But man, there for a second they were real close, but it looks like Roy is starting to kind of have issues with corner exit where he's starting to slide that AMG, and usually a little bit of slip angle around a corner is a good thing, but it's not always, and especially in the rain that can be very tricky where you're just scrubbing off your force that pushes you forward, and it's just being lost on energy that makes you turn, energy that makes you spin, and I think we're seeing a bit of that. But going into the braking zone here, he's going to try to make up a bit of that. And no, he doesn't. Two very different approaches to that corner. To both of these corners, you can really see that Tetley is holding the inside line. He's able to really kind of hug the inside corners. And it looks like Roy is getting closer to him, but there's this like rubber banding effect. He's really staying half a second behind him pretty much this whole time here.
And at the moment we're watching Bidel against Russo for, although I may be changing to Roth against Baker soon as Roth has been getting near to Baker, and the Perois against Tetley is still hot, so I'm having my eyes everywhere. is something that my girlfriend would also say.
Sunglasses at the water park, eh, Serta?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyways. All right, I'm going to recompose myself here. Biddle, 0.4 seconds back from Russo. Russo dominated the first half of this race and then kind of lost his lead in the pits. And he has not had the opportunity to regain it. Whoa! Yeah, Biddle takes a very sideways approach to that braking zone. It looked like he locked the rear brakes. I wonder if that's a kind of a brake bias kind of thing. Usually on a front engine car like that, if you're braking,
or it was liftoff.
That's possible. That's possible.
Although on the Bentley, I don't think that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it could be, but on the Bentley, I think the Bentley is not prone to that. Although, if you brake, lift off, and shift wrongly, like shift too fast down, you can get that issue. But that would be very, very strange, a very difficult way to make your cars. We should give him a prize. If he did that, we should give him a prize just because of that.
Let's see. Yeah, Roth is getting close to Bakker. I'm not as interested in this because Bakker still has to take that pit stop. He hasn't yet, and
either does or he gets disqualified.
Yeah, we're 8 minutes to go in the race, less than 8 minutes to go in the race, and he hasn't taken it. He's not even looking to take it. I have to wonder if he's just forgotten about strategy altogether. He sees, hey, I've got enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. My tires are okay. I'm gonna do it, and just hasn't considered or remembered that he needs. Oh, Russo is stopped on the side of the track in Sector 3. That's not good. Your former race leader down in 6th place ended up
all by himself.
Yeah, sliding through the S's at the through the chicane. This is using the GT non-GT chicane. That's
the GT chicane.
Oh, it is the GT chicane.
Yeah.
I was right the first time. Okay.
The long one, to call it that. The easy one is the GT chicane.
Gotcha. Okay. The amount of times that I've loaded up into a race or a server and not looked at what chicane it was, and just blasted through that chicane, and
then you're shortly before the chicane and are frantically trying to remember what chicane was set
exactly.
up.
Exactly.
Oh my god! I hope I have the right one in my mind. No, it's the wrong one. Bye. Been there, done that more than enough times.
Hey, let's look at Peroy and Tetley battle for 12th. We've got these two drivers. I think we had talked about them a little bit earlier, and now the battle is back in full force. It's the AMG versus the Lamborghini here with 5 minutes 39 seconds to go. I saw some adjustment on my timing screen. I guess they both
but
pass.
it was at the front.
Okay. But yeah, so we have some very slidey drivers. You can see there's a lot.
Roy took the curb, and that's the wrong curb to take, and he is losing time to ES.
Yeah, ES now is if the AMG hadn't been in the way, ES would have absolutely passed Peroy for position here with now 5 minutes left to go in the race. And so now Peroy has gone from chasing to being chased. He has pretty much lost Tetley. He's over a second behind Tetley, which can be made up, but will he have time? Probably not. But now Eus is much closer. Ooh.
Roth is off track, and he went off track all by himself.
Let's take a look at Stewart and Cow. Click on Stewart and go back 15 seconds. We have a three-way battle here for position with these guys, and there was just a bit of a bump, and he knocked off Roibsam into the grass. Roibsam was looking to make a pass, and yes, Stewart just made his car a little bit wider there on the outside of that corner, and sent him off.
That's gonna be a penalty.
Yep. And it looks like Roibsam has caught Stewart. They're alongside each other now. This is down pretty far in the order. 18th, 19th, 3 minutes 30 seconds left to go in this race. But Roibsam is racing Stewart pretty aggressively. And remember, Stewart was the Aston Martin making some pretty risky decisions earlier. So we have two hot drivers. It looks like Roibsam gets into Stewart. There's some fighting going on. That's going to put enough distance between the two of them that we might have a problem solved through to the end of the race. But the race officials will be looking at that incident and the incident previous for any signs of wrongdoing. Looks like we got some.
Becker goes into
Aha! Oh boy. Man, maybe that was the strategy. Come into pits right towards the end.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's a good one, but
remember that Schumacher won a race this way.
Yes, that is true.
He went into pits at the last lap, and because he crossed in pits, he crossed the start and end straight. He won the race. And they changed the regulations after that.
Right? Yeah. I'll say that was true, but it wouldn't be true now for I think any racing series.
But that was once again. Oh man, what was the name of the strategist? Who then went on to own what would become Mercedes. Very well known guy. He was the strategist for the whole time that Schumacher was at.
84 car. Murasano and let's see, Murasano and Detweiler are off in the corner of Sector 2. It's the S-bend after the Schumacher S, speaking of Schumacher. Man, that's not where you want to be at the end of the race. Anyways, Calgaro is leading your race. Driver who, Wraith. Wraith is slowly inched his way up quietly. Not slowly. He's been very quick this race, but he has quietly inched his way up without us really mentioning him too much. But he's made his way all the way up into second place. Here with a minute left to go in this race, Jack Biddle in the Bentley, 818 Bentley, has held some drivers off to get to where he is. And then we have Fabiano Russo, dominated the first half of the race, lost out on the pit strategy wars, and has been maintaining around fourth ever since. And then a very familiar name, Samuel Jardine, rounds out the top 5 in the Lexus. We have 18 seconds to go. This will be, looks like, your final lap here right now.
Calgaro, a name that we often, or that you guys hear often when we are broadcasting the Racing Academy, is post in this race. Hope he doesn't anything survive.
Steve Tetley is still successfully holding off Nicholas Peroy. Steve Tetley is your leader in the silver driver. Checkered flag is out. Calgaro just needs to come around again. He is currently in the latter half of Sector 2. He's about to cross the line for Sector 3, which is a very short sector on this track. Here you go. He comes through the S's, and he has one more corner, and then Federico Calgaro will win this race.
Oh.
And by a margin of 18 seconds, it looks like he's gonna do it. He does it. Federico Calgaro for FC Racing wins the 1 hour of the Nürburgring.
Biddle has been getting ever so near.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna make it, but he's gonna be very, very close.
Yeah, makes it very interesting up to the line here. Boom, boom. That is Wraith and Biddle crossing the line together.
Oh, and just... What? There.
Oh, Russo spins!
Yeah.
Russo spins it! On the start-finish straight, he has not crossed the line yet. And Russo down into 10th place.
Jardine bumped into him.
Oh,
so that's
man.
something that race control is gonna take a look.
Yeah, that will definitely be an examination there. Yeah. Oh, wow. Right at the end and for a lot of positions, Russo had been maintaining 4th place. Jardine was right behind him in 5th, but Jardine crossed the line in 4th. Biddle crossed the line in 3rd. And David Roth crosses the line in 5th place, leading the bronze drivers. Bronze driver gets a 5th place overall, so that is impressive.
Then we have Cedric, Bellish, Limburgs, Knight, and Russo, who is gonna be boot.
Yes, no kidding. And Steve Tetley, 808 Ross Racing, leads the silver drivers to the finish line, followed by Stancer in 14th place overall, 2nd in class, and Cow, who had a very hard-fought 3rd place in class.
That has been the 2nd race of the Evolution Racing Academy. Any last words from you, Cody?
Don't stall your Porsches.
Yes, don't. And next race is gonna be at Zandvoort at night. Zandvoort at night. That's gonna be a scary one. Next week, Evolution Racing Academy on RumRum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing. Until next week, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium. Bye! Bye.